What is up, guys? Tas here. Welcome back to another video. So the markets had a great day. S&P 500 went up 2.4%. We had the Dow Jones up 2%, the Nasdaq up almost 3%, and the Russell 2000 led the way up almost 3.4% on the day. And today we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over 10 stocks to buy now, and I also want to share with you guys what stocks I own right now, and in general, where my head is at as a trader, as an investor, and whether or not I think what we saw today, this big pop, is a bull trap. So hit the like button, subscribe, make sure to get yourself 2 stocks from WeBull, link down below. Check out the Patreon as well, and let's get right into the video. So what we see right here is the S&P 500, and again, we had a great day all across the board, and the S&P went up almost 100 points, and it's not every day that you can say that it went up almost 100 points. And yeah, that's pretty crazy, up 2.4%. And notice what we did a couple days ago. This is very familiar and similar, rather, to what we saw a couple days ago. If you all remember, we saw a big drop in the markets on the 22nd heading into the 23rd. S&P went from 38.75 down to about 38.05. We saw the snapback on the 23rd, and that snapback led into the 24th. So what we saw there was pretty much normal market action. We got a bit oversold. We saw a snapback. And what happened on the 25th, the day after that snapback? We got oversold again. Into the 26th, we got down to about 38.10. And today what we saw after getting oversold again was that snapback reaction. Again, we went up 2.4%, up 90 points here on the S&P. And the question here is, what is going to follow? Because look, what followed after the last snapback was a big pull down. It was the bigger of the pull downs that we saw, the largest pull down. We had a sell-off of that it lasted all day. I mean, it lasted the entire day. So I'm worried here, and the reason why I put bull trap in the title, the thumbnail, wherever you're seeing that, I put it somewhere. The reason I'm doing that is because if you bought this day, if you bought into the pump a couple days ago when we saw that nice recovery push, you'd still be underwater right now. And you definitely would have been underwater the day after, because the day after the pump, we saw a big drop. So that ended up being a bull trap. And right now, based on the way I'm seeing it, this very well could be a bull trap on the S&P as well, to the point where it could drop and test the lows from last week. That's very possible based on what I'm seeing here on the hourly, especially because we failed at 39.10, 39.15, which happens to be the resistance of the downtrend, of those lower highs that we've been seeing. You can see it here on the hourly. So that's pretty alarming. I'm worried. I'm nervous, which is why I didn't do much buying today. We'll get into that in a little bit. And this very well could dump off further. And let's say we gap up tomorrow. The futures are solid. Let's say market open, we're seeing a lot of green. Let's say we get out of this downtrend. That's going to be a big pivotal point for the bulls, because at that point, we could fill up to the all-time highs. That would be a breakout, but we're not there quite yet, leading me to believe that as of now, this is, I don't want to say for sure a bull trap, but it could be a bull trap. I'm leaning a little bit more towards bull trap. That's if we end up dumping off tomorrow. It's definitely going to be looking like a bull trap. But if we break out tomorrow, on the flip side, like I said, we could end up jumping up to all-time highs again in the snap of a finger. I have no doubt about that. And the market ran today. It's probably because of that stimulus that got approved on February. Now the Senate has to pass it. The unemployment benefits, I believe they run out on the 14th of March. So there's about 2 weeks to get this stuff settled, and that's why the market pumped. And yeah, will this pump continue? That's the golden question. Or will it sell off into this news maybe tomorrow. I think that could be possible, and I'm worried about it. I'm not going to lie. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Let's try to get at least, come on guys, at least 300 likes. Let's try and do that. Hit the like button. I really appreciate all of your support. And now let's quickly talk about what I'm doing, what I did today, and what I'm holding. Quickly, you guys know in the Patreon, you get real-time buy and sell alerts, all the call-outs, so you get this stuff straight to your notifications, I guess, if you turn on the Patreon notifications. And Skillz is one we called out on Patreon at $32.05. I got into this one last week, and I ended up locking in all of the profits on that position today. I posted that sell order earlier. It was at $34.85. And overall, from $32.05 to $34.85. I wish 38, but $34.85. That gain was roughly 8%. So I'm very happy with that. Although I didn't build out the position fully quite yet, I'm still happy with that game, and I'm not necessarily bearish. I'm just looking for a re-entry at this point. Hopefully, if it could break 35, 36, we'll see around 37. That's where I'm looking to see if the bulls could take charge, build some momentum out of there, and if so, that could be another entry point, or maybe if it pulls back a little bit from there, we'll see. That could also be an entry, and they have earnings coming up on the 10th. That's 9 days away, 9 calendar days, and that's, hey, maybe we run into earnings there. We'll see how that goes. But overall, I locked in profits about 8% there on Skillz, and I didn't buy anything new today. And the truth is it's because, going back to what I said, if this is a bull trap, I'm not looking to get suckered in quite yet. If we hit a low tomorrow or the next day, that's probably when I would buy more for the next swing back up. But now I'm playing it safe. Again, I sold. I locked in some profits. I'm freeing up some cash, and I'm holding on to my positions just in case we go higher. Of course, I need to have some exposure there. So I'm still in SLV, which silver was doing great earlier. What did it close at? It closed up 0.75%. So I'm still in silver, holding SLV. Tesla had a pretty solid day last time I checked. Yup, up to almost 720, up 6.3%, holding on to Tesla. Workhorse, they had earnings earlier, which I just realized I did not even check their earnings. That's not good. That's shame on me, right? Shame on you, Stas. You didn't look at their earnings till now. But yeah, I'm going to dive deeper into those later, but it looks like they missed EPS, or not even EPS. They missed this revenue mark. They were supposed to do 1.3 million estimated, but 650K is what came in. But we can see it's up 7%, holding 1730. I'm still holding on to my shares, guys. If you all know, I've been in Workhorse for weeks at this point. Was in at 22, still am in at 22. Locked in profits on the way up. Thankfully, locked in a lot of profits at $30 and $42. And I have still a little position, still holding on to that. So we'll see what I'll do there. SBE. Well, now it's known as CHPT, Chargepoint. This is another one that I'm still holding on. I might add a little bit here on the dip. So I'm watching Chargepoint. Neo, they just reported. We'll talk about Neo later. I'm holding on to this one right now. We'll talk about the earnings later on. And Tattooed Chef. That's what I'm doing, guys. I'm holding on to Tattooed Chef. Let me know what you guys are doing down below in the comments. I would love to know, as always. Now, I like doing these earnings reports. And by the way, if you want to check out the Patreon, that's linked down below again. And I'd like to do these earnings reports. I don't want to say live because this is pre-recorded, but I like looking at them for the first time, you know, here on the camera. So we're going to do number one. Stock one is Mercardo Libre. This is a big e-commerce play. It's Argentina, I believe, is where it's headquartered, right? And they reported earnings today. They just did, and the stock went up 4.6% at the close on the day today. And based on after hours, it is gapping down aggressively. It's trading in the mid-1600s, so it's down about 50, 60 bucks after hours. So let's see what's going on here. Mercardo Libre had Q4 EPS of negative $1.02 there. That's up from $1.11 in the red last year. Okay, I wonder what the estimate was for this quarter, but we'll see if they even show that. Sales came in at $1.3 billion versus $1.21 billion, so they beat there on sales. Maybe it's guidance. Let's take a look here. Unique active users. Wow, look at that metric there, guys. That's awesome. Unique active users grew by 71.3% year over year, reaching roughly 74 million. That's got to be the key metric, one of the highlights here from this report. And we can see Credit Suisse raised Mercado Libre's price from $1,500 to $1,900. Outperform rating, expected return to be more aggressive for the more, or wait, what does that say? Expected return to more aggressive growth path. Okay, so Mercado Libre selling off a bit here. Not too sure why. It could be because maybe revenue didn't beat as much as expected. Maybe a little soft revenue there. But overall, the trend is still up. We can see the uptrend is trying to hold at 1630, 1650. So overall, I mean, yeah, it's still being down. It's down about 20%. It's almost more like 18%. It's almost in a bear market. So anything above 20, 25, 30% of a drop for some of these growth stocks, I'm looking at it seriously, considering to nibble a little bit of a position. And I understand a lot of these stocks like MELI have gone up a ton, which is why you have to approach with caution. I mean, in the last year, it's gone from 420 to 2020. That's a 5x pretty much. And now it's at 17. So, yeah, approach with caution. They've gone up a lot, but they could still keep going up. And this is a nice dip. Overall, it's holding the uptrend as of now. And we have to see if it gets to 1750, 1800. I think that could be a nice spot for a further breakout. So watch out for MELI. Lemonade also reported earnings today. We're going to break those down. I haven't checked by the looks of it. Are we doing well? Let's take a look here. Yeah, kind of. I mean, we went up 5% on the day. After hours, it is down a little bit from what I'm seeing here. And let's see what the earnings were looking like. Let me take a look, guys, or did they not even report yet? Am I messing this up? I might be messing this up. Or they didn't come out yet. So their earnings didn't come out yet. But overall, Lemonade does look pretty solid. We can see a lot of outperform ratings. Piper Sandler adjusted their price target from 105 to 160, keeps overweight rating, and we can see some other ones here. So we'll see what they report, but overall, like I've been saying, guys, and this is a very good sign, they went up 5% today. I like the way this is holding the overall downtrending channel, and I understand some of you guys don't like trading downwards patterns, but there's a lot of upside in those if you plan them, or rather time them correctly. And this is one that I think we could time correctly, and I like the way it popped up out of the downtrend we see on the hourly chart today. Look at this. We broke out of the downtrend, the 50 SMA here on the hourly chart. So I like the way we're seeing that, and maybe they report tomorrow. Yeah, guys, they report earnings tomorrow. That's my mistake. They report tomorrow morning. Did they maybe push them back, or maybe they were scheduled for the morning tomorrow this whole time? Either way, Lemonade, I'm watching it. We could see a big move tomorrow if they report good earnings. And I like the way, again, we're breaking this downtrend. So from 132 maybe to 150, 55, I think that is where Lemonade could be headed here. So watching that one very closely. Neo, and guys, I didn't look at Neo's earnings either. I did not cheat. I promise. Neo is up pretty big after hours, and not as big as it was today. Today it went up 8.7%. After hours, it's up about $1.90 to be more accurate there. And we can see it popped to 51.50. So we were up over $2 at 1.3%, and we're pulling back a bit. But overall, I really like here after hours, just looking at the price action. I like how 50 broke. $50 was a big resistance. We broke to 51.50 after hours. Now we're back at 50. Will we hold it as support? That's the $1 million question. That's what I'm looking at, technically speaking. And earnings, did they not come out either? Gosh, guys, I'm filming this at a bad time Did they not come out? Or it's 7 p.m. Central Standard. So what is that? 5 p.m. here. So maybe we could wrap back around a little bit, and a little bit they might report. So we'll come back to NEO. Zoom ended up running up like crazy, 10% today, up almost $40. And guys, look at that. It's at $450. There you go. For all you Zoom guys and gals out there that have been holding this thing, you have a big smile on your face, kind of like me, even though I'm not even in this. But you can see Zoom's at $450 right now after hours. It was at $410 at the close. And remember, it closed up 9%, so that means it's up. It's up another 10% after hours. Let me see exactly. It doesn't matter exactly what it's up. It's up around 10%. That's what you have to know after hours. Let me check my app here. Yep, 10%. And yeah, wow, 450 broke. So what did they do? They must have reported amazing earnings. So EPS, look at that. EPS came in at $1.22 versus 79 cents estimated. And I know my big head's in the way. You guys probably can't see it, but just trust my word on this. They beat EPS, right? And what did they do for revenue? Let me take a look here. Do we see revenue? Revenue came in at $882 million versus $811 million. So they beat revenue by a wide margin as well. And what do we see here? The guidance. That's what it is, guys. You can see here, full year guidance, beat Wall Street's estimates. And let's take a look here. There's a lot of data here, so I don't want to bore you guys. But yeah, guidance is up. That is always something worth looking at for earnings reports. If the guidance outperforms, guys, that's such a good sign. And that's, I guess, what we're seeing here. And let me just show you. We can see we're approaching the resistance of this triangle, the wedge, whatever you want to call it, on the 4-hour. If we hold above 450 and we make a serious push to 475, 480, I mean, that is going to be very good for the bulls. But now I'm a bit worried. We're up so much to the point where now it is a bit overbought. So we might even see a bit of a sell-off to the 420s even, 430. It's kind of too early to tell. We'll see pre-market tomorrow. But overall, this is a good sign for Zoom. This could end up being the catalyst that starts the next couple of weeks. Maybe we might see this overall breakout come in the next couple of weeks. It could play out, although in the short term here, the next day or two, we might see volatility before it consolidates and starts to break out. So we'll see, guys. Zoom's looking solid. And two Chinese stocks here. I'm not too heavy into Chinese stocks other than NEO, but two other ones I have here are Bidu, BIDU. I like the way this is holding the uptrend on the 4-hour. You guys can see it's pulled down, held about 270, the 180 SMA support. Now it ran up, trading a little bit under $300. It went up 4% today. So I'm looking at this as maybe a continuation play. The uptrend continues. Maybe we can get a price 305, 310, 320. I think that's where it could be going in the short term. And Tencent is another one, TCEHY, yet again another Chinese company. This one went up almost 5% today, up $4.10. And similar to Bidu, it's like the same pattern pretty much. It is holding the uptrend, holding that 180 SMA. We got a big gap up over the EMA on the 4-hour, this light blue line. That's a good sign. And you guys can see the gap up on the 5-day, 5-minute as well, and on this hourly chart. So that's a good sign. And I think Tencent, if it could break 93, that's actually where I'm going to set an alert. If it breaks this 180 SMA on this 30-minute chart, $93, I think that is where it could take off even further. So for tomorrow, that's what I'm watching. And for this whole week, honestly, about $92, $93 on Tencent. And Square is another one which is looking pretty solid. It pulled down from 283 to 220. Now it went up 5% today, almost closed under or right around 240. So I think if we could gain some headway above 240, probably 243, I think Square could be a breakout play. But remember, if this bull trap scenario plays out, a lot of these stocks, if not all of them, might gap down. So we have to be careful. It really depends on the markets tomorrow. If we see a big gap up, a lot of these could be in play. But if we see a gap down, most, if not all of these will sell off. And it might not be the best time to enter, but we'll see how it goes. And of course, we'll be making videos, chatting, whether it's here in the comments, Patreon, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. We're going to be talking about it. So stay tuned to the channel, of course. And yeah, Square, I like it. It's decent, but we have to be careful. And Target is another one, which they reported earnings today, or they report tomorrow. Let me double check. It's actually tomorrow pre-market. So that's 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I just like Target, and I'm waiting for the breakout patiently, very patient. I'm waiting for a break above 190. That's my target price, maybe even 191. So I'm going to set on alert. Let's go in the middle there and do 190.5. And if that breaks, okay, we're going to be breaking up towards the mid-190s, 200s in my humble opinion. I mean, every time we've seen this wedge form on the 4-hour, it's happened once, 2, 3 times in the past. Every time we've broken out, we've seen a nice stretch, a nice push in the stock, and that's what I'm looking for again. So Target is one worth watching, and one that's maybe a bit more valuable, or a bit of a better value at this point in time. Costco, although I haven't looked at the PE ratio, I could check that right now. Costco's PE ratio, one of the most basic metrics to look at for valuation. The PE is 34, so that's not the best, the most attractive, and Target's PE might be more than that. It's 24. Wow, it's less. So on a PE basis, Target is a little bit cheaper per se, but we have to look at other metrics to really compare them on a more in-depth basis. But either way, Costco is down a good chunk from 390. It's trading at 331. It's down 15%, almost in a bear market. And they do report earnings, I believe, this week on the 4th. So that's a couple days away. And by no means is this the most attractive pattern. In fact, it's not that attractive at all. But I like it because it's very beaten down. I think it's due for a bounce back. And if we get down to the 325s, 320s on the lower end, I think that's a stretch. I think that's an oversold spot to where we could see a bounce back into the 330s, 340s, 350s at that point. And even here at 330, could we get back to 350? I think that's a decent trade. And it's kind of similar to Merck. I mean, we covered Merck a couple days ago, last week at some point. And Merck at this point, it's so being down. The yearly head and shoulder we called out is playing out. It failed at 75, which is a bad sign. It hit a lower low. It's at 72 now, and I think it could get to 68. Yeah, it could get 68, 70. But at this point, it's so beaten down to where if you have a couple months of a time horizon, if you need to get out in a week from now, that's a different story. But if you have a couple months, I think if you're buying at 70, even here, 72, 68, 65 even, I think you have a long enough time horizon to the point where it could rip back up and get to about 82, 80 even, 85 even, it has been a big resistance over this past year. So I like these being down plays, Merck, and on top of that, if you have a longer term horizon, Merck pays roughly a 3.5% dividend right now, which is nice. I'm not sure what Costco's is, but these are decent for beating down plays. And I don't want to put Target in the beaten down play category because it's not as beaten down. But still, those are a bunch that I'm very interested in right now. And we'll wrap up the video here. What are your thoughts on everything? Let me know down below in the comments. What have you been up to? What stocks are you buying? What are your top 3? Let me ask you this. What are your top 3 stocks that you're looking at right now as the markets are a little bit off the highs? Let me know in the comments and hit that like button. Again, let's try to get at least 300 likes, and make sure to also get 2 stocks from WeBull down below. That's absolutely free money. You get 2 stocks once you deposit $100, and if you don't like the platform, you could take that $100 out and still keep those 2 free stocks. That's linked down below. And same with the Patreon. Check it out if you want real-time buy and sell alerts from me, call outs, everything I'm doing throughout the day. If you want to be able to talk to me throughout the day, that is on Patreon, and you can get morning update videos and exclusive content. That's all on Patreon, linked right down below. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the markets, guys. Stay safe out there. That's the most important thing. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see my M1 finance portfolio, I made a bunch of changes there. I'll pop it up right here. Check it out here, or it's linked down below. I guarantee you'll find some value there. A bunch of changes. Check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching as always, guys. Peace out.